Oh, I noticed that there's a couple people already in the chat, or should I say, currently watching. So first of all, welcome. Feel free to leave a comment as I'm doing the stream. I'm just getting ready and posting, doing a couple more posts before I get started. I will be checking the chat every now and again, even though it's not on screen this time because it's going to be taken up by Disney and Pixar's Twitter. Yeah. I will be looking at it during the stream. So if you have anything to say on the announcements we're going to be looking at, just let me know. Yeah, because I wanted to do this as a stream. One, because I really enjoy interacting with you all, and also because I was honestly kind of surprised. There were quite a few announcements that came out of this Disney Investors Day. There's so many that it would be impossible to me for me to like make a video on this and like have like having to keep all these announcements in mind. But I'll get into that more when I start the discussion. It's like we have even more turnout. See, looks about right. So, yeah, so I'll get started in a second. Just need to do one last thing, or more like a couple things, but I'll be able to start soon. Oh, I see. Um, hey Nick, how you doing? Yeah, I know that the Game Awards is going on right now. Yeah, I just saw some of the games that have won. I watched the bit where they had that London Orchestra playing songs from some of the Super Mario games, and I'm not gonna lie, when they were starting to play um one of the tunes from Galaxy, I nearly choked up. I mean, just nostalgia just kind of hit me like a pickup truck. But it's okay if you don't you don't chat too much. Don't feel pressured. Yeah. So but have you been having a good day, Nick? Did you hear some of the announcements that Disney has made? Sephiroth and Smash, my dude. Also, yeah, the Mario Orchestra section was nice. My day has been good. And how about you? Yeah, I would say I had a pretty decent day. It was kind of a typical work day. Funny enough, if I knew that Disney was going to be tweeting so much today, I probably would have done a live stream right after work. But yeah, I didn't. I'm such an idiot. The idea didn't really hit me until like I saw the plethora of announcements from Disney. So that's why I'm doing the stream right now. I think they finished up because they released like a sizzle reel of the announcements, but I'll be going over especially a lot of the ones that relate to topics on my channel tonight. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. I'm getting close to the 8-minute mark. So I'll go ahead and get started. So, hey, everybody. Blood Moon Bobby here, and welcome to my Disney Investor Day stream. So, what I'm going to be doing tonight is similar to when Disney Plus announced their launch lineup. I'm going to be going through both Disney and Pixar's Twitters to go through some of the announcements that they announced today. They announced a lot of content, movies, and shows that are coming to, especially Disney Plus and theaters. So, I think one of the big takeaways from this announcement was I was a little concerned that maybe Disney was gonna pull a HBO Max and be like, okay, we're gonna release our 2021 lineup on Disney Plus, but that doesn't seem like quite the case. There's still some content that's coming to theaters. There's still some like coming to Disney Plus. Like I know they announced that Raya and the Last Dragon is coming to both theaters and Disney Plus. And yeah, we'll talk about that announcement more later. So we'll just be going through the tweets and talking about my thoughts on them. I'm not going to be talking about every single announcement. Like I might gloss over a lot of the Marvel and Star Wars stuff since I'm either not really interested in those announcements or I'm really casual. If you are, then really good for you. I'll go over maybe some of the ones that caught my eye to inform you, because I don't just want to talk about the stuff that interests me. I also want to keep you in the loop with others that I may not cover nearly as much. So, yeah, Nick said, hey, you're not an idiot. And yeah, I'll check out the tweets and announcements later. Nick said, the only announcement I heard was 30 seasons of Simpsons, but that's the only announcement I heard, lol. And yeah, that was actually something that was announced. I think that was announced pretty early on when Disney Plus was coming out. So let's get on with it. It's going to be really kind of awkward because I think some of the tweets are hidden here. So should we actually go through this? Let's go through here. And yeah, that should be all right. So, yeah. Might actually have to... My mouse is really finicky. So, yeah. I think this is... Let's actually start off with the one in the middle. So, Disney is like, over the next few years, roughly 10 Marvel series, 10 Star Wars series, 15 Disney live-action, Disney animation, and Pixar series, plus 15 all-new Disney live-action, Disney animation, and Pixar features will be released directly on Disney Plus, which I think relates to the announcement. I remember hearing a while ago that Disney said they want to even get into streaming even more, so I think that relates to that. And we're going to see more about the content that I think they're referencing in this tweet later on. And one of them is actually right below that tweet that I'm looking at, and that is the announcement that Raya and the Last Dragon, which is Disney's next original animated film, they announced that it's coming to both theaters and Disney Plus on March 5th, 2021. But on Disney Plus, it's going to be premiere access. So it sounds like like when they say premiere access, it reminds me of when they released the Mulan remake and they charged an additional $30 on top of a Disney Plus subscription for people to watch it. So not gonna lie, I was kind of annoyed when I heard that announcement because it's kind of weird, especially since they're bringing Soul to Disney Plus and they're not charging anything extra. So maybe there's something I'm missing here. Maybe in regards to Raya and the Last Dragon. I mean, the cynical side of me wants to say, oh, they just want to scrape a little more off the top when it comes to Raya and the Last Dragon. I mean, if you have your thoughts on why they might be charging extra for that movie, you could let me know in the live chat. The good news, though, unlike the Mulan remake, the Raya and the Last Dragon is a movie that I am legitimately excited for. I mean, I don't really like it when, admittedly, I don't really like it when people already declare something is going to be good just from watching a trailer. I mean, to be fair, the movie still hasn't been released yet, and I hope that Raya and the Last Dragon will be. Most of Disney's animated films lately have been pretty good. So I hope for the best for Raya and the Last Dragon. I think we're going to hear more about this movie as the stream goes on. So let's continue here. Disney's like across Disney Plus, Hotstar, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. Disney direct-to-consumer services have over 137 million subscriptions. In 2021, Disney Plus will launch in more markets, including Eastern Europe, South Korea, Hong Kong, and much more. So there you go. Disney Plus is going to be launching in even more countries, and it'll probably give Disney an upper hand compared to HBO Max, because HBO Max, at least as of right now, is only available in the States. So I imagine both streaming services are going to try to get more of an international foothold. So once again, if you have anything to say about the announcements that going over, you could let me know in the chat. Might go a little slowly in case any of the ESPN announcements interest you. Of course, you could check out the Twitter timeline. And hopefully, I hope that a lot of these trailers won't start playing, because I don't want copyright issues to pop up. Show replies. Yeah, I have to do that really weird thing where I have to hit the show replies button. Let's see, Alien series on FX. I hope it's good. So I'm going to have to keep that in mind as I go along. Yeah, a lot of Star Wars announcements. Imagine they're riding on the success of The Mandalorian. The upcoming Willow series from Crazy Rich Asians director John M. Chu. I think I briefly mentioned that in my Lilo and Stitch live action video, because there were reports that there were rumblings that Chu was going to be the director. I just... Yeah, it's really kind of finicky. Yeah, more announcements. Let's see. Okay, so they're like, time for an update on Disney Studios. Hocus Pocus sequel. I want to know in the chat, what do you personally think of the first Hocus Pocus? It doesn't really seem like my cup of tea. I've kind of heard mixed things about Hocus Pocus. Like, some people really don't like it. Others, it's a huge nostalgia trip for the fans. I believe it was Kenny Ortega that directed the first one, and I'm kind of lukewarm on his work. I don't really like the High School Musical movies, but I like Newsies. I think that's one of the more underrated Disney franchises, and it has some really amazing songs. So let's keep going here. Let's see here. Oh, here's one I wanted to show you. The Diary of a Wimpy Kid announcement. Disney says the live-action film franchise Diary of a Wimpy Kid comes to Disney Plus in 2021 as an all-new animated film. So, from what I can tell, they didn't really announce too many details. They just kind of made a statement, and that was about it. I'd be curious to know if this upcoming Diary of a Wimpy Kid... Oh, they said animated film. Oh, okay. I thought for a second there, I thought they meant they were talking about a show, but it looks like they're going to do an animated film based on Diary of a Wimpy Kid. at least the tweet here doesn't say if it's going to be like a remake of the first Diary of a Wimpy Kid film, or it's going to be based on one of the newer books. What I'm curious to know about Diary of a Wimpy Kid is the art style going to be like the one in the book? And don't get me wrong, I really like the art style, the illustrations of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books. I think it adds so much to their identity and makes a lot of the jokes even funnier. I guess my main concern is, would it be too simplistic for like, would the style be too simplistic for a new movie, or is it going to be a thing where it's like they expand upon it and really take advantage of the style to do really creative things, like kind of like, you know, what we see in movies like My Neighbors the Yamadas, or even that upcoming Tom and Jerry movie. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm curious myself. I mean, I've only seen the second one, Roderick Rules, which I liked Roderick Rules. I heard the first one isn't really good. I wanted to watch it on Disney Plus, but didn't really have the time. So we'll keep going. What's this on here about Night at the Museum? Did you hear that Night at the Museum is coming to Disney Plus with a new twist? This time it's animated. It's Sean Levy, the director of the trilogy, is producing. The exhibit opens on Disney Plus in 2021. I'm wondering more so from a story perspective, what are they gonna do this time with Night at the Museum? Because I'm kind of surprised they were able to fill out 3 movies. I like the first one. Second one I think got kind of overly silly to me, and I've never seen the third one. So maybe they'll find some way to breathe new life into Night at the Museum, since it's been a while since we saw a Night at the Museum movie. And then the announcement down below that: embark on a thrill ride down the Amazon in Jungle Cruise with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Emily Blunt, Edgar Ramirez, Jack, how do you say his name? This is going to be awkward. Jack Whitehall, Jesse Plemons, and Paul Giamatti. Jungle Cruise sails into theaters July 2021. So that's an example of a movie that Disney is saying straight up it'll be in theaters. So it sounds like they're not going to be going down the road of, at least not yet, of like, you know, just straight up putting it on Disney Plus. So I would say that's one of the biggest differences between this announcement and the one HBO Max did, where they're just like, yeah, we're going to release our movies both in theaters and on Disney Plus. Because some of the announcements you'll see, it just says, oh, the movie will be coming to theaters on this date, and they say nothing about Disney Plus. Eventually, whether they get released in theaters or not, let me rephrase that. I think if they do say it's coming to theaters, I think eventually it will come to Disney Plus, like when it's time for the home video release, but not right away. So, as I kind of predicted, I think Disney is taking a more safer approach, and they don't want to piss off movie theaters. Especially what happened with HBO Max, where I think it was like a day or so after they made the announcement, AMC got all uppity again. So I think Disney is like, yeah, we don't really want to go down this road either. And let's see here. A prequel to the live-action Lion King is in development from Barry Jenkins, director of the Oscar-winning film Moonlight. Hans Zimmer, Pharrell Williams, and Nicholas Britell, I'm not sure how to pronounce that name, will provide the music. I don't know. Oh, I remember hearing rumblings of a Lion King prequel a while ago. I saw the live-action movie and reviewed it, and it was okay, but some of the scenes didn't really translate well from animation to live-action, especially in the song sequences, I think. The acting was really good. I really liked Chiwetel Ejiofor as Scar, and it was really great to hear James Earl Jones play Mufasa again. But as a movie, it was kind of a mixed bag, so Okay. Now we got the cast of the live-action Little Mermaid movie. So we saw that it's going to have Halle Bailey, Jonah Hauer-King. Oh, they got Awkwafina in the movie. His Scuttle, Daveed Diggs, Jacob Tremblay, Melissa McCarthy, and Javier Bardem. they say? Javier Bardem is going to be playing King Triton. Ooh, cool. Directed by Rob Marshall, featuring music from the animated original, and new music by Alan Menken and Lin-Manuel Miranda. So, curious to see how this live-action Little Mermaid will go. As I said in my a prior video on the Little Mermaid remake, I've watched some music videos from Halle Bailey. Yes, I know her name is very similar to Halle Berry, but yeah, she does seem to have a good singing voice. And funny enough, I haven't really seen Javier Bardem play like a heroic character. I've seen him in No Country for Old Men and what was that? Skyfall, where he played more antagonistic roles, and I would say he could be like, he gives a really intimidating performance. So I'm guessing they casted him for because he really commands a sense of presence in the roles I've seen him in. So we'll have to see how that goes. Let's see here. Chip and Dale are back in a hybrid live-action animated feature directed by Akiva Schaffer and starring John Mulaney and Adam Sandberg. Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, an original movie, is coming to Disney+. Kind of seems like Chip and Dale, I don't know, when they say live-action hybrid, I'm just kind of like, I don't know about that. Is it going to be like Chip and Dale are animated and they have to deal with a human cast, like what Warner Brothers is doing with the Tom and Jerry movie? Maybe it could work, but I don't know. Something about the idea just makes me kind of skeptical. So, moving on. So, I don't want to get copyrighted. Yeah, that's one of the scary things about live streams. I've heard that on YouTube, if you get your first copyright strike, they take away your live streaming privileges. So, sorry I can't show you the trailer. I don't want to risk it. This is the live-action Pinocchio. I think I mentioned it a while ago. One of Disney's all-time classics is coming to Disney Plus with the new live-action retelling of Pinocchio, starring Tom Hanks and directed by Robert Zemeckis, who you may know, he's the guy who directed. They mentioned Tom Hanks, and it reminds me of Zemeckis' prior movies like The Polar Express and Forrest Gump, which had Hanks in prominent roles. And I know Zemeckis also made Castaway, which I know my sister really wants me to check out. Which I would say the Pinocchio live action remake is one of the ones that I'm more interested in, because I like the crew they have behind it. Kind of curious to know what Tom Hanks is going to look like as Geppetto. And Robert Zemeckis, who is a director I really like. I like Forrest Gump and The Polar Express and Back to the Future. So we'll have to see how that goes. I heard his recent movie, The Witches, based on the Roald Dahl movie, isn't really good. I kind of want to review that movie one of these days, because I remember reading parts of The Witches book as a kid, and I want to see if it's as bad as a lot of people are saying. I mean, not that I don't believe the people, it probably is, but we'll have to see how that goes. Continuing on, Peter Pan and Wendy, stop. Yeah, they're making a Peter Pan and Wendy movie because there's not enough Peter Pan movies, I guess, from Disney and other studios. Not that I'm saying this one is going to be bad, because we won't really know until the movie itself comes out, but it's like, of course Disney would do a Peter Pan movie because, hey, we're making all these live-action remakes and movies inspired by our live-action films, so why not do Peter Pan? So Peter Pan and Wendy will be flying to Disney+. David Lowery directs an amazing cast, including Yara Shahidi in the role of Tinkerbell. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. And Jude Law as Captain Hook. I'm not gonna lie, the idea of casting Jude Law as Captain Hook, that actually seems like a role that was tailor-made for Jude Law, from what I've seen from it. So yeah, Peter Pan and Wendy. I hope it's at least decent. I would say I'm not exactly the biggest hater of the Disney live-action remakes. I know a lot of people are like, come on, Disney, why do you keep making these? They're not very good. to me, they just kind of have a hit and miss reputation. Even if they get a good cast and crew together, some of the decisions they make just kind of are very awkward. Like some of the live action retellings or sequels or ones based on Disney animated movies include like I like the Cinderella remake. I also like Mary Poppins Returns, although that movie kind of has a similar problem to Star Wars The Force Awakens in that it kind of feels like they're slashing and burning prior material. And then there are ones that I'm really mixed on, like the Lion King remake and then there was the Mulan remake, which I didn't like. I thought that movie was just kind of dull. So I don't know. I just hope that these live action, I hope that when they do come that they're good, because I really don't like declaring something as bad or good on first impression. I have to see the movie for myself. It's just more so of a reflection on how I'm like my expectations rather than a judgment of the movie itself. So yeah, so Peter Pan and Wendy I hope is good. Disenchanted, I've heard about this movie for a while now. So it's the sequel to Enchanted. You might remember that movie. It's actually the movie that introduced me to Amy Adams. I remember her playing the Princess Giselle. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's been like, when did Enchanted come out? Like in 2007, and it's taking over a decade for a sequel to come out. I mean, hey, if the movie itself is good, then I hope it's good. I mean, we've seen sequels come out years later that turned out to be pretty good. Blade Runner 2049. And I hope that this upcoming Disenchanted will be pretty good. Streaming on Disney Plus. I'm sure that's going to make theaters really happy that some of the movies we're seeing here aren't coming to theaters. But yeah, I hope it's good. I remember Amy Adams was pretty good in the movie. I liked some of the songs in Enchanted. It's a pretty entertaining film. I don't want to get too spoilery on the first Enchanted. If you haven't seen it, it's a pretty good movie. I remember I watched it with my dad and sister. My dad especially really liked the movie. I wonder if it introduced a lot of people to Amy Adams. I know she was in movies before Enchanted. Like I remember she played a character in Steven Spielberg's Catch Me If You Can. But I wonder if for a lot of people this was their introduction to Amy Adams. You could let me know in the chat. Sister Act 3 is in development. Whoopi Goldberg is coming back, and Tyler Perry is going to produce. It will premiere on Disney Plus. Man, I haven't seen the first Sister Act in years. I remember watching the sequel in high school, although I don't remember it too well. I think my mom was a fan of the first, because I remember she would watch it, the first Sister Act, quite a bit. Might actually watch it myself. From what little I've seen, it seems like my kind of comedy, and the trailer was pretty funny. The one joke I remember from the second Sister Act was there's a scene where Whoopi Goldberg's character is going in and teaching this music class, and the sign says, and she's like, oh, the sign says music, because instead of saying music class, it says music ass. Like somebody took off the CL from the word class, and I thought that joke was pretty funny. So yeah, there you go, Sister Act 3. And now we get into the Disney animated movies. So we get more characters from Raya and the Last Dragon. It's your first look at characters from Raya and the Last Dragon. Meet the street-savvy entrepreneur. Oh boy, if I'm pronouncing this wrong, I apologize again. Entrepreneur Bone, or maybe I'll know when they release another trailer for this movie. And the formidable giant Tong. Okay. And a thieving toddler. Wait for the helicopter to pass. And a thieving toddler. Noi, is that how you pronounce it? If you want to correct me in the chat, feel free to do so. And her band of Ongis. Again, and apologies if I'm mispronouncing it. I'm having a tough time saying the names. If you want to correct me, you could do so in the chat. But yeah, and then we get one more tweet here. Their hope is a magical, mythical, self-deprecating dragon. It kind of sounds like something Aquafina would do, named Sisu. Ryan the Last Dragon comes to theaters and on Disney Plus with premiere access on March 5th, 2021. I really hope it doesn't cost too much, because unlike the Mulan remake, the Ryan the Last Dragon is a movie that I'm interested in. I mean, I hope it's good coming from Disney Animation. They make really good movies and they got a good cast. I know that they casted Kelly Marie Tran and Aquafina in starring roles. And I like how they say magical, mythical, self-deprecating dragon. It sounds like a character that Aquafina herself would play. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to Ryan the Last Dragon. It's probably gonna be a mix of like comedy drama. I'm judging by, because I know the trailer had like this like serious action vibe with a few bits of comedy thrown in. So yeah, that sounds fun. And this next announcement, this actually quite surprised me. Like when they, like I remember earlier this year, I heard rumblings that Disney was gonna take streaming even more seriously, probably because of the success of Disney Plus. But it's like I didn't expect this. It's like they're gonna be making in like all these like shows based off their movies. Like we're gonna have a Baymax show, Zootopia, Tiana, and a Moana like series. It's just like holy crap, they're making all these shows. They weren't kidding, huh? So yeah, holy cow. So we're probably gonna get like adventures with Moana. I do think that there is possibility, especially after seeing the Moana itself. It's a really nicely made movie, and I remember, the adventure Moana like went on with Dwayne the Rock Johnson's character. Zootopia, they'll probably do. I could see it being sort of like a show about like social commentary. Baymax, which makes me wonder, especially because there's the whole Big Hero 6 series going on. Does that mean that the two shows are gonna like live side by side, or is Baymax supposed to be like another spin-off series? Kind of hoping. I mean, I don't follow a Big Hero 6 the series too much. I know a certain someone I'm thinking of really likes the show. Kind of makes me wonder if Baymax is going to be like being on the air side to side with the Big Hero 6 series, or if they're just going to move it to Disney Plus. So we'll have to see how that goes. I just hope that like Disney, I hope they don't do with like what they tend to do with Disney Channel shows, where it's like they only give them like 4 seasons and that's about it. You might have heard about what's going on with the Ducktales reboot. Excusez-moi. So let's see how that goes. What's this? First of its kind collaboration, Disney and Pan African Entertainment Company Kugali will create an all-new science fiction series coming to Disney Plus in 2022 called Iwaju? Is that how you pronounce it? Check out a first look at the visual development from the series. Okay, yeah, I heard about this movie a while. I'm surprised this movie kind of flew by my radar. This movie called Encanto that takes place in Colombia. This fall, I'm assuming they mean fall 2021. If I'm incorrect, you could correct me in the chat. Disney says, this fall, Walt Disney Animation Studios' all-new film Encanto takes you to Colombia, where a magical family live in a magical home, directed by Byron Howard, who I believe is one of the co-directors of Tangled, and Jared Bush, co-directed and co-written by Charisse Castro-Smith, and music by, again, Lin-Manuel Miranda. So, curious to see how that goes. Okay, just keep announcing. Time for news from Pixar. And it's time for me to hit that show reply button again. Seriously, Twitter, what are you thinking? First up, a reminder that the latest film, Soul, is premiering only on Disney Plus this Christmas, which I'm planning to check out after Christmas. I might even watch it on Christmas Day itself if I have the time. My family's Christmas Day plans are kind of up in the air as of right now, and Windows is telling me to download an update. So I hope Soul is good. It does have a promising crew behind it: Pete Docter, Jamie Foxx, Tina Fey, and Yeah, I heard about this. First of 3 new Pixar series coming to Disney Plus is Doug Days. In this up spin-off, Doug discovers the dangers of suburbia like puppies, fireworks, and squirrels. Doug Days will premiere on Disney Plus in fall 2021. I'll see if I might get around to reviewing at least some of the shows that Disney has announced. See, and also because Cars is a really popular Pixar franchise. Next, Pixar is speeding ahead with a new series following Lightning McQueen and Mater on a road trip across the country, featuring new characters, old friends, and imaginative destinations, coming to Disney Plus in fall 2022. Okay. And oh yeah, Luca. I talked about Luca a while ago when I was speculating what the movie could be about. Pixar's next feature film is Luca. It's a celebration of the friendship between a boy named Luca and his best friend Alberto during their unforgettable summer. You won't want to miss Luca. Again, diving into theaters, both this movie and the Turning Red movie that I'll be talking about in a second. Disney is saying is coming to theaters, so sure, theaters as well as moviegoers. I hope that things get a lot safer by June 2021, so I could see that movie. I'm just not trying to picture Luca is gonna be one of those movies. I wonder if it's gonna be one of those movies where it's like people like really like the food shots, because I remember reading a while ago Luca is gonna take place on the Italian Riviera. And I think one of the filmmakers like mentioned that just imagine it's summer and you're eating pasta on the Italian Riviera, and I remember hearing a while ago that one of the characters in Luca like has this problem of like turning into a monster. So we'll see how that goes in the movie. If it's gonna be like a long-term thing. I don't know if it's going to be a thing where it's like it takes place over the course of years. Most Pixar movies tend to take place over like a short term. But yeah, there you go. That's Luca. Turning Red from hey, the director of the Academy Award winning short Bao, Dami Shi, is that how you pronounce the name, brings us Turning Red. Meet May. She experiences the awkwardness of being a teenager with an added twist. When she gets too excited, she transforms into a giant red panda. Turning Red comes to theaters March 11th, 2022. I'm guessing the title Turning Red is supposed to be like a play on words for the expression of like turning red, like when you blush when you're embarrassed. And also because the character turns into a red panda. And given how like Bao like actually like brought tears to my eyes and gets me choked up, probably gonna like I wouldn't be surprised if it's a very emotional film, especially teenage years. Yeah, when I look back on my teenage years, it was just a time of emotional extremes. So it's just really crazy. Okay, moving on. This movie. Yeah, I heard about this announcement just before I started the stream. And I hope to God Disney doesn't a copyright strike the stream. Yeah, so blasting into theaters June 17th, 2022. Lightyear is the definitive story of the original Buzz Lightyear, voiced by Chris Evans. Get ready to go infinity and beyond with Lightyear. Let me actually try something. I'm going to move my computer a little bit to the right and see. No, it's just, oh, there we go. Yeah. So I wanted to get more of the tweet in the frame. And judging by that, it sounds like since Buzz is going to be voiced by Chris Evans instead of Tim Allen, it sounds like the kind of movie where maybe it'll focus on Buzz's early days. I'm wondering if it's going to take inspiration from that TV series Buzz Lightyear. I think it was called Buzz Lightyear Star Command. I know there's a lot of people who really like that show. So I'm wondering if they might take notes and inspiration for this movie. I'll be honest, when I heard Disney was making this movie, I kind of got vibes of, they're going down the road of Maleficent and Cruella, where it's like they take a popular character and now make a movie about that character's backstory. Just hoping since it's coming from Pixar, I imagine that, I hope it's going to be something that's really good. Might even get some really amazing space adventures and space fights. I kind of jokingly said to my sister, maybe they'll give us an introduction as to why Buzz has the saying to infinity and beyond. But unlike the Cruella movie, this is more so a movie that I'm interested in. So we'll see how it goes with Lightyear. And they also show this shot of Buzz himself. Tweet for WandaVision, Doctor Strange, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So many shows, man. Up. Yeah, see here, so at least officially as of now. Hey, Gabby, how are you? And hey, good timing that you jumped in because I'm about to look at a tweet regarding Black Widow. So it sounds like Black Widow is still headed to theaters as of now. It says Black Widow chronicles Natasha Romanoff's efforts to deal with her history as a spy long before she became an Avenger. Directed by Kate Shortland and starring Scarlett Johansson, Florence is it Pug, David Harbour, and Rachel Weisz in theaters May 7th, 2021. So at least as of now, Disney is still planning to release Black Widow in theaters. Although, I God forbid if things don't improve, we'll see how it goes if they're gonna delay it or maybe put it on Disney Plus. What do you think of the announcements so far, Gabby? They announced a Buzz Lightyear prequel movie. They also announced like a Pinocchio remake. There's also going to be a Little Mermaid movie and a sequel to Enchanted. What do you think of those and even more announcements? So see how it goes. I noticed you were like, yes, Loki. Yeah, so Loki, an original series from Marvel Studios, coming May 2021 to Disney Plus. Are you like surprised as I am to see this many shows coming to Disney Plus? Abby said, "Oh wow, I'm surprised they're doing both theater and Disney Plus. Since they're saying theaters for Black Widow as well as the couple Pixar movies I mentioned, it probably sounds like as of right now they're not gonna go down the route of releasing those three movies in theaters and Disney Plus just yet. Although we'll have to see how that goes. But they are going down that route for Raya and the Last Dragon. They said Premier Access, so it probably means they're gonna charge extra on top of a Disney Plus subscription like they did with Mulan. But again, as I keep saying, unlike Mulan, Raya and the Last Dragon is a movie that I'm legit excited for. So yeah, there you go, Loki. And yeah, sorry, Gabby, I can't really play trailers in the stream because I'm concerned that I might get copy striked. I even still remember, like Gabby, I don't remember which movie it was that we saw with Steven, but there was one time we were sitting in a theater watching trailers. It was either Into the Spider-Verse or Blade Runner 2049, and I got a notification from my phone that Disney blocked one of my trailer reactions for Dumbo because of copyright. So it's just like, I am not tangoing with Disney again. I mean, it's stupid because it's fair use and it's me commentating over the trailer, but it's just like, ugh. All those corporations and they get all corporation-y. Know what I mean? She-Hulk, Moon Knight, Secret Invasion, Ironheart, back up. Let's see here. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. Kind of wondering for this, do you think they might do like some kind of reference to the Star Wars Holiday Special? I don't know. I'm just getting that sort of feeling because of the name of the Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. And since Guardians of the Galaxy tends to reference a lot of like pop culture and songs, like I remember in the first one they played that song, Hooked on a Feeling, and there was that scene where Star-Lord and Gamora had that conversation about Kevin Bacon. It's just like, could you imagine if they like reference the Star Wars Holiday Special? Like they might have like awkward characters or strange like song sequences. I don't know, just that name Holiday Special just like kind of makes me think, oh my god. And yes, I watched the Star Wars Holiday Special a while ago. And yeah, it was pretty awkward to say the least. I Actually, let's look at. Whoa! Stop! I don't want to play the Fantastic Four trailer. Let's actually look at Black Panther 2 because I know that Chadwick Boseman, the guy who played T'Challa in the first film, passed away recently. Rest in peace. And I personally really liked the first Black Panther myself. I thought it was a really told story, and I really liked the cinematography. Let's see here. What do they say? Black Panther 2 opening July 2022 is being written by and directed by Ryan Coogler, honoring Chadwick Boseman's legacy and portrayal of T'Challa. Marvel will not recast the character, will explore the world of Wakanda and the rich characters introduced in the first film. I remember there was like some people were wondering if maybe I think it was like some people were wondering if T'Challa's like sister would like take over or something like that, or like maybe would like succeed T'Challa in the next Black Panther movie. I guess we'll have to see how that goes. I imagine when the news of Chadwick Boseman's passing came, it kind of like I'm thinking about this from like a public relations perspective. I imagine that like the people at Marvel and Disney were kind of running around saying, what are we gonna do? Should we recast the character, or what should we do? So I imagine they're still like having those like discussions right now. But once again, rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. I liked your portrayal of T'Challa, so I guess we'll have to see how that goes. John Watts will direct the new feature film for Marvel's first family, Fantastic Four. I'm hoping this time it'll be good. I've heard like very mixed results of what happens when the Fantastic Four comes to the big screen. I know there's people out there who are kind of mixed on the first two movies that Fox did. I know there was also the what's his name, the producer that made the one before the Fox movies. But I know that the first Fox movie and also Rise of Silver Surfer, people are kind of mixed on those two movies. And then Fanforstic, it's just like it's probably one of the most like hated superhero movies in recent times. I mean, I remember watching Chris Stuckman's review of the Fantastic Four reboot, and he hated it so much he was like, "I'm not gonna call it what they want me to call it. It's Fanforstic." Like he kind of said it in like a very temper tantrum like sort of way. So it's just like, okay, that was Fanforstic, and I hope this new movie is good. Although, since we're talking about Disney here, some might say, well, yeah, there was already a good Fantastic Four movie, and it was called Incredibles. But I'd still like to see Marvel come out with a good Fantastic Four movie. And who knows, maybe now that Disney has bought Marvel and Fox, maybe they will. So, is that it? I think, yeah, we got to the tweet where it says thank you for joining us for Disney Investor Days. So yeah, that's all the announcements that Disney has made. So all in all, it sounds like they're not going down the route that Warner and HBO Max did, where they're like, we're going to release our 2021 lineup on our streaming service. So it seems like, in comparison to other studios, like, yes, Disney has released some of their movies earlier than expected on Disney Plus, like what we saw with Artemis Fowl and the Mulan remake, but it seems like they're a bit more reserved compared to Warner and HBO Max, since one would wonder there's a dog barking outside, and yeah, I was kind of thinking maybe they would go down that route. Part of me was thinking they probably wouldn't, because when Universal and AMC made amends and said, okay, Universal, you can release movies with shorter release windows, Disney outright said, no, we're not going to go down the route of shorter release windows. So they seem to be a bit more reserved when it comes to their relationship with theaters. And I also imagine with movies like the couple Pixar movies and Black Widow, they want to save those for when they can get to an even wider audience and get that, sweet box office money. But no, I understand it myself. I mean, I would personally like to see the movies in theaters. I've gone and seen a few of the Pixar movies in theaters, and I would like to do the same with Luca when that gets released. Um, Nick and Gabby, if you're still watching, what do you personally think of the announcements? And one would think, and admittedly, one would think maybe Disney would go down the route of HBO Max since Disney Plus has a much bigger subscriber um, count than HBO Max. But again, I imagine, but still, it still can't make up for like putting if they were to put all the movies on Disney Plus, it would still it would still not make enough as Disney would want to, as I awkwardly phrase that. So, what else could I really say? I mean, some of the ones that I liked, I'm looking forward to seeing that Lightyear movie as well as Luca. Mostly, like, as a person that mostly follows, like, Walt Disney Animation Studios and Pixar, I would say the announcements from those two studios I'm looking forward to. I'm kind of curious about the Pinocchio movie. Maybe I'll get around to seeing the Little Mermaid remake. I don't know about Peter Pan and Wendy though. Like I like Disney's Peter Pan, but it's not like a movie that like I go jumping up and down for when it comes on TV. It's like I like to watch it. It's just it's not really a movie that like I get super enthusiastic about. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, but what did you say? I was thinking they would do Disney Plus and in theater, but at least we are at least getting a lot of shows in Brian and the Last Dragon on Disney Plus. And I'll be honest, I was really surprised to see the number of shows. Like they weren't like it wasn't really a joke when I heard rumblings that Disney said they were going to take streaming even more seriously, probably due to the coronavirus. Do you watch the Big Hero 6 series, Gabby? I mean, I haven't really kept up with it, but I was wondering, wait, so they're announcing a Baymax show, but there's still the Big Hero 6 series on Disney Channel? So I was just a little confused about that. But yeah, I was saying that I was kind of unsure if Disney was going to go down the route that Warner and HBO Max did because at least given how Disney responded to when Universal and AMC made amends, I didn't think that they were going to go all in. I imagine some of the movies may have been destined for, or at least maybe they were considering for theaters, like some of the live action remakes we looked at. Because I could see, box office potential with some of them, but at least with movies like Peter Pan and Wendy and the Pinocchio movie, looks like they're going to be coming to Disney Plus only. Gabby said I've seen a bit of the Big Hero 6 show, so I don't know. It makes me kind of. I mean, I'm not saying this is going to happen. Who knows how it goes for the Big Hero 6 TV show, but I hope it's not like a thing where it's like it's on the chopping block like what's going on with the Ducktales reboot. Not to open a can of worms, but uh, I wonder like I probably would have been like even more surprised if Disney announced, "Hey, we're gonna do a Star versus the Force of Evil sequel series." Like I'm thinking, "Oh, that would be so cool," but unfortunately, doesn't seem like that's coming anytime soon. I'll take a quick look at Pixar's Twitter, but I think it's basically the same thing or very similar to the Disney announcements. Loads. Yeah, like once again they showed Lightyear. Lightyear yeah, it's another example of a movie that's coming to theaters. Disney said it'll be in theaters June 17th, 2022. And did you hear about this announcement, Gabby? Turning Red, coming from the director of Bao. Which, did Bao make you cry? I remember when I watched Bao with Steven when we went to go see Incredibles 2, I remember actually kind of tearing up because I related so much to like the story, especially like from, the kid perspective of Bao. And I did a tweet a while ago asking people what were some movies that made you cry as a kid, and well, not even just as a kid, just in general. And I mentioned movies like A Schindler's List. I don't remember exactly what I said in the tweet, but some other movies that also made me cry were Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I cried at both the scene where Miles has the conversation with his dad, like when they finally have like an understanding, and also the scene when Peter Parker died, and when they played that song, "I'm not scared of the dark," and especially when they showed that scene with Stan Lee giving the Spider-Man outfit to Miles. I was like, it just felt like it was just a crazy coincidence, especially since Stan Lee like passed away around the time Spider-Verse was coming out. It was like his way of like giving to the next generation. I thought that would that really like hit me in the feels. So, but yeah, I'm really glad that this director. I am sorry I'm having such a hard time pronouncing the names tonight. Domi Shi looks like is going places because Bao was such a great short. So yeah, but yeah, Gabby, did Bao make you? Did you tear up when you watched Bao? Because I think you told me you felt pretty emotional watching the short. Is it she or she? I'm just trying to remember from, um, yeah. So, but yeah, it's basically similar to what we saw earlier. Might even be the exact same ones we saw when we were looking at the Pixar announcements. But this is really like the Nintendo Direct of this is almost like Disney's take on Nintendo Direct. So yeah, they actually had some pretty interesting announcements. And again, I wanted to do this on a stream since there were so many announcements that I couldn't possibly do for a pre-recorded video. And I also wanted to get input on you, the people watching. So if you're just joining in, let me know your thoughts on the announcements that Disney and Pixar has made. You could also leave your thoughts on the announcements from Marvel and Lucasfilm. Yeah, Gabby said it was pretty emotional. Don't remember if it made me cry though. I mean, yeah, but that's okay. I remember. I actually watched a few times. 2 out of the 3 times I saw Bao, it made me tear up, and I actually showed, or actually it was my sister who showed Bao to my parents, and my dad thought it was all right. And funny enough, when we showed it to my mom, and we got to the scene where, spoilers if you haven't seen Bao, where the mom, out of frustration, eats the Bao kid, my mom was like, why doesn't, my mom meant this in a joking way, but she was like, why doesn't she poop her out? She meant it in a more humorous way. And in my mind, I'm just like, they're not going to show that kind of stuff in a Pixar short. But yeah, I thought it was kind of a funny joke. So after this chat is over, if you want to talk about these more, we can discuss the announcements on Discord. I've been adding some, what do you call them on Discord? The additional rooms, text channels that it says Disney TVA, but I really mean Disney. So if you're watching and you want to discuss these announcements even more, we could do that after this discussion is over. Gabby's like, Mom got savage. Yeah. So, not going to do a stream of the Game Awards because, again, I'm worried about copyright, and also not a fan of, I don't want to, start up the awards show conversation we had in our last stream. But yeah, but I'm not gonna do a Game Award stream because copyright. Honestly, I'm just taking the approach of whatever will be, you know. So I'm just kind of looking at like what games won. Gary is like he come out like and has the poop emoji. But yeah, something tells me he they can't show that in the Disney movie. I like that tweet from Twitch where it says they reference Among Us and they say Jeff is sus, vote him out. In case you don't know, Jeff Keighley is the host of the Game Awards. Let's see here. Knew it. I knew Among Us was gonna win best mobile game. And yeah, I've actually been playing quite a bit of Among Us for I played it with Steven and a friend, and I've also played it a couple times during social days at work. I'm always nervous I'll get chosen as the imposter because I'm not very good at lying. Yeah, haven't seen too much. I will say, I mean, I don't want to like, I'm honestly indifferent as to which game I want to have win Game of the Year, since the only ones I got to play this year were Animal Crossing: New Horizons and Doom Eternal. I haven't played Last of Us 2, Final Fantasy 7 Remake, Hades, or Ghost of Tsushima yet. Although that's going to be changing because my cousin is getting me Ghost of Tsushima for Christmas. And I know that Steven's been playing it lately, and I'm curious myself. I'm just worried I'll get my ass kicked. Yeah. Gabby says, hopefully I'll be able to join with Steven's game soon after handling finals. One of the next streams, in fact, the stream that I'm planning to do a week from today, because it'll be the Japanese anniversary of this system, is... Let me actually turn down the brightness, because I want you to see the... Oh, God, you can't... Dang it, this camera... I don't know if you could see it, but Gabby, you see what I did to my Vita? I put the Curse of the Blood Moon dance from Star as my Vita wallpaper. Yeah, it looks like shit on camera because the Vita screen is just too bright and glamorous, and I like how it looks. Whoops, sorry, I hit my microphone. Only thing I don't like is when you swipe to go to different menus, it temporarily goes back to like that sort of bluish Vita menu. I wish it was just like a continuous wallpaper like on an iPhone or an Android phone. But yeah, I'll be doing a stream talking about the Vita's history next week, like history games and why I think it didn't sell well, especially compared to the PSP, because it's interesting how the PSP was one of the most successful non-Nintendo handhelds, and then we go to the Vita, and I think it sold better than the Wii U lifetime sales, but it didn't, but it was, I don't even think it sold like 20 million units, and I'll talk about that more in the stream. So just been having a good time playing Vita. I recently picked up, I mentioned this to Steven, but I picked up the Metal Gear Solid HD collection and playing it on Vita. I'm still getting the hang of the controls. I think I'm better than when I first tried playing it on PS4, but it's kind of like learning a new language to go from playing Metal Gear Solid 3 on 3DS to Vita, because the Vita version uses controls that are more similar to on the PS2. So instead of using the shoulder buttons to aim and shoot, you have to push R to aim. You press square to... Actually, no, wait, back up. It's you push R to go into first-person mode, you hold square to aim the weapon, and you let go of the button to fire. So yeah, but I still like the game. I currently am part of the game where I'm getting close to having to fight Ocelot. Gabby, if you stay on for a second, I'm gonna show you one more wallpaper, but I have to change the memory card on my Vita first. If anybody watching has any recommendations for Vita games, you could let me know in the chat. So far, the games I'm going to talk about in the Vita stream will include the God of War collection, Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends, the Metal Gear Solid HD collection. I'll also talk about Killzone Mercenary and Uncharted Golden Abyss, which I downloaded the demo for, and I probably should buy the game on a cartridge or download it. Where's actually? I could do some. I'll do something else instead because I can't get access to my Vita memory card now. But Vita memory card is one of the Achilles heels of the system. I remember when I made my prior video, I even got like messages from people that saying, "Oh, the memory cards are so expensive," and they still are compared to SD cards. But I'll see if I could do uh, something regarding the Owl House. Mm-hmm. Mm. Still there, Gabby? I have one last thing to show you. That will do. I was gonna do something else, but this is fine. You're still there, Gabby? Can you see what I did for my Vita lock screen now? See? See who it is? Again, wish the exposure would work correctly, but welcome to having an OLED screen on the Vita, which is nice, except the one on my particular unit shows blotches when it gets really dark. And Gabby's like, wee! Because I showed the one of the scenes from the Grom episode of Owl House where Luce and Amity are having the chat outside the dance. So, if anybody else watching has any thoughts on any of the announcements from Disney today, could let me know in the chat. I think I might sign out a bit soon, but see if there's anything else that I could talk about. Yeah, Lumity. And yeah, I still have my Lumity flag from the prior Owl House review. Yeah, just kind of kept it up there for decoration, also because it's kind of hard to take down anyway. I wanted to do a thing where it's like maybe I'll have both the Starco flag and Lumides right up here, but I still have to figure that out. And Gabby, you do like it. Cool. All right, so I think I'm gonna head out for now since I've talked about most of the announcements that Disney and Pixar have announced. So again, Nick and Gabby, thank you for joining. If anybody else has any more thoughts on the announcements Disney has made, you could leave them in the comments. I would recommend actually going to my Discord server, which is linked in the description. And I do want to get a conversation going. I like to use that Discord to talk about really any of the topics that I discuss on this channel. So, at least until further notice, the next stream I'm going to be doing is for the PlayStation Vita, and I'll talk about the game's history and also reasons why I think it didn't do so well in sales. So, once again, thank you, Gabby and Nick, for supporting me in the chat. If you have any more thoughts, you could leave them in the comments, or we could talk about this more on Discord. And I've just set up a text channel for Disney related topics. So until next time, this has been Blood Moon Bobby, and I will see you all later.